Ferryman, Amy Ferryman, but she was never enlisted in the. You know, when somebody dies, you're in the obituaries and stuff like
Right. Well, that costs money.
that. Yeah. But she
Well-
wasn't listed there or anything. So,
Nobody knows how to contact her.
well, they're trying right now.
I was going to say, you shouldn't lose that information because, you know, at some point...
That's over 2 months of stories actually recorded of mine. You know?
Wow.
It'd be like, remember when Lauren stole my stories, tried to steal my stories? So we put a stop to that. That one, Lauren.
So tell the story of... you was telling me the story of your dad being in Winnipeg.
Oh, the Uripi.
Yeah. Tell that story.
Oh, okay.
So he's got you.
Oh, he's got me taken. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, my dad he worked at the railroad yard, and he unloaded 2 boxcars of coal. And on the second boxcar, he had a heart attack. Massive heart attack. That was his second heart attack. And he died. Well, he almost died, but I mean, you know, back then days, they didn't have all this modern technology. But nobody could do anything for him. He was paralyzed, you know, completely paralyzed. So my grandma was crying and everything. And even a doctor came in and said, there's nothing they can do. So, you know, we just took him home and everybody's crying and everything. And my uncle, he's really cool. You should see my uncle. He's a cool old Indian guy. A tall, lanky guy. He always wore this big old cowboy hat. He told us, you know, what you should do is take him to this medicine man up in Pine Ridge. You know, and nobody knows who he is. I mean, they know who he is, but, you know, he's not like these modern ones, Crow Dog and all them, you know. And so we took him up there, and where he lived at didn't even have roads. So, you know, we had to, you know, make our own way up to where he lives. And he lived in a log cabin way up in the hills, up in Pine Ridge. And we went up there and they did the Uipi thing. And, you know, they did the Uipi ceremony where they wrapped him up, you know, with the blanket and all that. And then he, you know.
French toast. Why don't you stop it and we'll start again?
Yeah.
Oh. He said he can't stop it, so just keep talking.
Yeah. So anyway, we did that, and then that lasted the ceremony itself lasted 2 to 3 hours. And then they did this at night, and they covered up all the windows anyway with blankets.
Anything else
So
I
it's
can grab for
completely
you guys?
dark. Completely dark.
Ketchup.
It's completely dark. There was you couldn't see, you know, your hand in front of you. And they had the altar in the middle. There was no furniture in that room. And they took all the furniture out of that house. You know, I think all he had was just like a table and a chair anyway. And then after they removed that, you know, they made the altar, and everybody sat in a circle all the way on the floor, all the way around. And then I was like 9, 10 years old. And that's when you know, when the medicine man said, "I'm going to heap the load," that means they're here now. And these people are supposed to be the stone men. They're only like 6 inches high, tall. You know, little men, but they're made of stone. And you could hear something on the roof of his house, you know, walking around, you know, making noise like a squirrel does. And that's what I thought it was at first, the squirrels. But it wasn't. And he said, "I'm going to heap the load." Here they came in through the stovepipe. That's the only furniture inside that whole thing was a one of those Franklin stoves. So they come scrambling in through the stovepipe, and they actually pushed those round things on the stove. They pushed those off to one side, and then they got out of there. I mean, you can't see them, but you're just imagining that, you know, that's what they're doing. Then they come across the floor, and then he started his ceremony, and he had placed gourds, all strategically placed some gourds. And he started singing his songs and everything, and after a while, those gourds started glowing in the dark. You know, like a luminous, like on a watch, you know, glows in the dark. They start glowing. Pretty soon they got brighter and brighter. And pretty soon they just start shaking, and pretty soon they start bouncing. And then they start flying around the room.
And they were singing prayers.
Yeah. There's only one medicine man, you know, so he was doing all that. He just him, and we brought a helper with him too, you know, somebody to help, you know, with him.
So then what happened to your father?
In the meantime, he was in the middle, all wrapped up, and then, you know, he's wrapped up in a blanket and a buffalo robe, and they put twine all around him. That was before they turned out all the lights, and then, you know, and then after the ceremony was over, they turned the lights on, and here the blankets all flattened out. My dad was, laying there. And the medicine man went up to him and said, told him in Indian, that means, sit up, And here my dad sat up. And everybody's all amazed, And he told him to stand up and stretch. So he got up, he stretched, looked around. And he said, and then after that, it cured him. He even drove the car home the next day.
Really?
We stayed there that night, yeah, because we had brought a lot of food. We had brought gifts for the medicine man, money and gifts or whatever he wanted. But he didn't want anything, so we had to everybody had to do it on their own because a real medicine man won't take money.
Right.
And so but the next morning, my dad was okay, and he drove the car all the way from the Pine Ridge to, to back home.
Wow.
To that border town that we lived in. And then ever since then, he was okay till he died. So I seen that with my own eyes. What really freaked me out was those gourds flying around like that. And every once in a while, it was like a fan, feathered fan, brushes across your face like that. And they said you got to really believe because if you don't, those gourds hit you on the head. So we had to sit and really believe. But that's one of the ceremonies I went to, though. I actually seen it with my own eyes. That and that shapeshifter, that made my little brother crazy. That guy, there's a man that turned into a deer. So, and there's like 3 of us that seen that. So they have stuff like that on the reservation. Shapeshifters and, who knows what else. They got that black hole up there too where they have these beings coming out of the black hole.
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, how's that? But I've seen stuff like that.